Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Today I want to bring to you the story about three Bigfoots. Do Bigfoot really exist or what? Yes, he do. There are one called Suspects, who often roams around in groups. You see two or three of them, and that's Suspects. He's an ape-like creature. Uh, then you have Osapian. He roams about alone. Osapian is more aggressive than Suspects. Osapian will chase you out of the woods because he's not afraid of you. Then there's Lithiel. Lithiel is one that you rarely see. He looks like Wolfman from the movies in the 50s, not like a werewolf, but more kind of like a wolfman with pointed ears on the side of his head. Now, when I was in Iola, Texas, back in about 2015, Adam was with a friend of mine loading stuff from this old torn down barn. There was something watching me and I didn't know what it was. And I saw it staring at me, and when I saw it staring at me, I didn't know what to do. And it looked at me and I looked at it, and we both shot parted our separate ways quickly. I was in shock and I was in fear, and I told my friend, I said, there's something back there was looking at me. He said, yeah, right. So it was hair all over, and it looked like one of them old ancient werewolves from the movie with Boris Karloff. And he says, man, you gotta be kidding me. You're fooling yourself. Old ancient werewolf kind of looked like a normal person, but it did not look like a normal person because he had pointed ears and a kind of like a wolf-like face, but not like a werewolf or anything like that. Not like some giant wolf. Not like what they keep talking about the dog man. They didn't look nothing like no dog man. Lithiel don't look nothing like that. He just like a man with pointed ears, and hair all over his face. Hair, big hairy face. And have a kind of like a little dog-like snout, but he don't look exactly completely like a werewolf. This is Lithiel. And Lithiel is rarely seen. And when I was praying and asking God, what did I see? After my friend had went back there and he looked and he came back and said, hey man, we got to get out of here. I prayed and I asked God, what did I see? What was I seeing? And he showed me it was Lithiel. And Lithiel at that time, he's watching what he was doing. He was not really looking at me. He was staring across from me into an opening where there was some females at, and he's watching them because he was listening out to one of them that he wanted. It was a what you call female Bigfoots. They were all hairy all over too, but it's his own kind, And after that, he just disappeared. Couldn't find out where he went. And he told me, he said, Lithiel is a mystery. This one that you rather see Lithiel because Lithiel, he vanishes. He's very sharp. He's very sharp, and you can't catch him anywhere. You really can't catch him because he moves too fast. And Lithiel could be standing right in front of you and you wouldn't even know it. Or he would hide right there and you wouldn't even know it. But a lot of them, they will go underneath wherever you have farms at, and they will go under the grounds there, and they have caves, which is why you hardly even see anything because they have caves and stuff hidden underneath the ground. And they love to move around where there's farms at, and in quiet, very, very, very quiet areas. Now, in early 2004, when I had in my sin life and I had not set aside my differences, I was trying to start trying to do right, but on and off I was going through a whole lot of stress, a whole lot of oppression, and Satan was constantly messing with me. And as I would drive back and forth to work, one morning I came down the street and a vision came to my mind, and I saw this female come outside, and I didn't know it was a woman coming outside of this house on this long road. I was turning this curve where this trailer was, and I had it look real good. It wasn't actually a female. She had hair all over her body. She didn't have on any clothes, and realized what it really was. It was something that resembled a dog, a rock waller, and it stood upright, and it was staring at me, and had hair all over it, had hair like a woman, and it had hair all over his body. And I was terrified, and I didn't know what in the world, what was this thing I was seeing. And it was like calling me, saying, and she had her hands up, and I was terrified. I speeded up because I wasn't stopping and letting this thing in my vehicle, you know. It was terrifying to me. Never saw anything so weird in my life. Then when I got home and I was crying and I was praying and asked God, what did I see? In my prayers, He was showing me, the Spirit was showing me exactly what it was. It was He said, Chittal is going to come forth upon the earth. Say, it was a man mating with a rock waller. At first, the seeds didn't mix, but the devil became stronger. Satan became stronger on the earth, and the seeds of human and animal became just these two: the animals, the dog, and at this time, it was that rock waller. That man was messing around with a rock waller dog, and they became pregnant by him, and it gave birth to 4 litters and 4 pups, and one of them escaped as she got older, and she would escape and be ran, and she would flee into the woods. After this, it would be a war against nature, and there would come a time when Saspas, they would become so numerous that they would fight against Saspas and Osapian. And at that time, when Chittal becomes strong, they would start devouring things in the wilderness. Everything, not just small amounts of things, but they would devour, um, like for instance, the deer, the coyote. They don't care about things like this. They will eat the flesh of anything, and they will even devour people. And at that time, when Chittal becomes strong, Saspas will start to fight them, and they would fight them over territory, because the more Chittal become in numbers, the more she have pups. The more pups she have, the strongest ones will be so terrified that they would do anything. They would even sneak out at night and go to where people's houses out in the country and break into their homes. And when a woman comes on her period, they will attack her and take her into the woods and rape her. And these things will be eating the flesh of human beings as well as animals. He was showing me all this, and I was kind of terrified of seeing all of this. And I didn't want to believe what I saw, but all this began to shake me in fear and wonder, why would all this occur? Then it was showing me after a while, when Chittal has become strong and they was fighting against Saspas and Osapian, then Lithiel would turn around and use wolves and attack Chittal. Lithiel will beat Chittal down, almost completely out of existence. See, the false prophet Certicus shall rule over Chittal. This is his servant, who he shall rule, not Satan, but the false prophet Certicus will rule him. And at that time, when he's ruling him, he will do exactly what he wants. This is so that Satan may be able to test him, his power with him, and that he may grow among mankind. So Certicus will have his authority to do exactly what he wants into the wilderness against the animals there. This is a war against nature, the one he was showing me about that I had wrote about before concerning the fight in the wilderness. This is what I want to tell you about concerning the three Bigfoots and concerning the war that's coming forth in the wilderness. Chittal will combine, and there's other species that Millen had threw down into the woods that in order to deceive the minds of man, Millen was constantly taking things and throwing them into the woods in order to test them and see if he can use them in his slave forces to create in the slave force to work, and also as weapons against other things that he used to capture other slaves with. He would set them on earth to test them, and then he would come back and pick them up. But some of those things would escape. That's why you see things in the wilderness that don't really belong there, and a lot of things in the deep part of the wilderness where it's real, real quiet. It's better to be safe not to go out there, because it is dangerous out there. Thank you. I want you to hear this because a time is coming ahead and these things are about to occur in future days. I don't want you to be surprised or attacked by such entities all about that. Thank you, brothers and sisters. God bless.